So hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So in this video I'll be covering how to create the self-service and the provider network. Then uh, we're gonna create each subnet for each network, and then we'll go through the router configuration, router creation, and the router attachment for network interfaces. Okay, so in our case here, we need the provider network so we can attach it to our router, and then uh, when we'll create the instance, we'll be able to ping any external or floating IP address. So that's why we need the external network, and for the self-service, uh, we'll be using the VXLAN. There will be a tunneling between the two nodes, which are compute and controller, using VXLAN, as I said. So in my case here, the physical network infrastructure that will be linked to the internet will be on a specific interface on each node, and the same thing for VXLAN. It need to be created on two other interfaces. Okay, so let's get started right now. First, what we need to do is we need to configure the provider network. So let's first of all source the admin, then OpenStack. Let's create the provider network. So OpenStack uh, network create share this. This will make the network uh, allow and this will allow all the project to access this virtual provider external network. So share, and we need to specify it to be external. So provider physical network be provider, and for provider network type it will be flat, and the network name is provider. So OpenStack network create share external provider physical network provider network type to be flat, name of network provider, and let's check this on Horizon. User. Okay, let's create the subnet. OpenStack subnet create network will be provider. We need a location pool here. So we'll have start equal and end. For DNS name server, we'll have the typical ones. DNS name server, we'll have 8.8.4.4, and for the gateway, okay, so for the gateway we put 192, 168, 101. Okay, so for subnet range and provider. So let's add the start and the end. Okay, I have something missing here and mistake. DNS name server. Let's check. So we have created a network and a subnet. So this is the provider network. This is the subnet. Flat. Okay, let's continue now. So now let's go and add the self-service network again. Demo. Let's create the self-service and let's also give it a subnet. OpenStack subnet create network self-service, the DNS, the gateway, the subnet range, and the name of this subnet. If you refresh, let me see here. Okay, so this is what we need to see: provider and self-service. Now we will need routing. So we need to create a router. Let's clear this. Then let's source the user. Then OpenStack router create and router. So we need to add the self-service network subnet as an interface on the router. So what it this will be very easy. So OpenStack router add subnet router self service. So we add it on the router subnet, and the subnet will be self-service. Now we need to set a gateway on the provider network on the router. So OpenStack router set router and external here. We need to put the provider gateway. So I forgot to add external gate. So external gateway. Let me check. Okay, let's just verify P. We need to find 3 ID, 1 DHCP here, QDHCP, and 1 for the router. So you can see here that the two networks, provider and servers, self-service network, are associated and attached to the router. So what we need to do here will be adding two instances uh, on this layer, on this self-service layer, and within any instance we can go through the router, go through the self-service and the router to reach this provider network. Okay, so to check to test before launching any instance. We can check if router can ping. So let's do open stack port uh, list router. The name is router. Okay, so we'll try to ping. This is for the external. So as you can see here, we can ping the external uh, uh, network. We can ping the provider network from the router without adding any instance to test. So now we are 100% sure if we add the network, we'll be able to ping from it. Okay, so this is all for this video. Here you can we can create we learned how to create our self-service. First of all, our provider network, we add the subnet to the provider network, then we create the self-service, we add the subnet on it, then we need a router and we need a routing. So we created the router and configured the router. So we attach the self-service network on the router, and then we need to set the external gateway of the router with the provider network. Okay, and we verified by testing, by pinging from a router the provider, the external. Okay, so this is what we learned here. This is what I covered here in this video. On my next video, I'll try to configure and launch a serious instance, and we'll try to configure the security group, configure the SSH, the CMP within the security group, and all. This is all for this video. I hope you learned something new on your OpenStack journey. See you on my next one.